This is the Warhammer 40k factions test by IDR Labs. It's like 40 questions where it tells you what faction you are.
Oh god.
Yeah, a part of. So we have a bunch of questions. We have 40 questions, but I figured it would be really fun and engaging for us to go through the test together to at least have Rima's input. I haven't taken this test in a while, so we're going to see what faction she gets into. So chat, tell us what you think she's going to get. Your options are Imperium, Chaos, Drukhari, Eldar, Tau, Orcs, Tyranids, and Necrons. So which one do you think she is going to get? I'm curious to know what you guys think she will, what she'll get.
Slanesh worshipper.
Ooh,
Honestly,
guys.
I don't remember any of these factions except the Tyranid.
These
Which
are
one
like
are the
these
elves?
are big umbrella ones. The Eldari.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
the Dark
okay.
Elves are the Drukhari.
Oh, okay. And who are the clown people? Well, the one that dress in clown fashion.
So they're also part of the Eldari, but they're like a sub-faction. This test is like main factions because there's so many. Like we'll get into the Imperium of Man. There's like factions within factions within factions.
Yes.
So this one just covers the main 8 categories. And feel free, if you have questions, ask at any time. Feel free to be like, interrupt me and say, hey, I don't know what that is. Can you tell me? Because I'm probably gonna babble, and also tell me if I need to stop. Because I became a streamer because I found out about Warhammer like 3 years ago, and then I wouldn't stop talking about it to my friends. And they were like, Aurelia, you should become a streamer and talk about it online. And I was like, you think I could do that? And they're
That's
like, yeah.
so cool.
So here I am, being a nerd and talking about one of my favorite settings.
I mean, that's the best way to do content, honestly. There's also the cat people. Honestly, I remember the Mechanicums because I think their name is funny and kind of sussy at the end. I'm literally a child. I do think it's silly how they like worship, you know, like just computer, like machine. It's as if I worship my router or something. I mean, maybe if I did, I wouldn't have so much internet problem.
Right, the machine spirit needs to be satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the part where it's gonna be fun. I did the PowerPoint on the 8 main factions, but there's like so much. It's not in a PowerPoint. It's not in a PowerPoint. It's all gonna be in my brain.
Okay,
and I will warn you, it may not be 100% accurate, but I will do my best.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Do you have a guess? What do you think you are going to be?
I think maybe the elf faction or might be the human faction.
All right.
I'm nervous.
All right, drum roll, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have. Oh, my chat can't see it because I cropped it.
Wait, I did get a lot of Tau. Chat was right. Wait, you are Tau Empire 90%?
So your top 3 are the Tau, the Orcs, and Chaos.
Orcs? Chaos. Wait, Chaos faction? I don't remember that. I just thought Chaos was like the other universe, like the other dark energy place with the demons.
So there's a lot of different things in Chaos, so it is a lot of the demon, but there's more stuff to catch. Oh, I guess you're tied actually for Tyranids.
Really?
Yeah, looking at it. 90% Tau, 85% Orcs, 70 Tyranids, and 70 Chaos. So there is a... Here we are. I will read this out. The Tau Empire is a young, technologically advanced race united under the philosophy of the greater good, a collective ideology that values cooperation, harmony, and communal advancement. Led by the ethereal caste, the Tau seek to expand their empire peacefully when possible, integrating other races like the Kroot and Vespid. However, they are also capable of highly disciplined tactical warfare, deploying advanced weaponry, drones, and battlesuits with impressive coordination. The Tau Empire encourages unity and progress, seeing themselves as a beacon of hope and order in a chaotic galaxy. While they value diplomacy, they are unyielding in their mission to spread the greater good, often imposing their ideology on others.
Wait, they seem kind of cool. Wait, I thought everybody was bad in the Warhammer universe.
So there's some stuff about the Tau that are a bit unsavory at times, and we'll talk about. So how, we can do this however you want. So I knew that we would have these 8 factions, so I created some slides for each faction. We can go through all of them, we can go through none of them, and we can talk about whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. I just made it so it could be flexible for whatever we wanted.
The tower NATO in space. I'm down to go through all of them. But first, what was your guess? What did you think I would get?
So, funny enough, it kind of changed. I thought you would either be Eldar or Tau. So I say Tau because the nature of a lot of the Tau questions are like, they're mainly like good answers. Like, oh, I want everyone to cooperate. I want everyone to get along. I have morals, that sort of thing. That's, I think, a lot of people, at least I'd like to think a lot of people will say, like, yeah, I want those things. And that's just what Tau leans toward, like, lean towards. But there's a lot of stuff that, like, you don't quite capture. So I would say in, like, today's society, if a standard person took the test, they'd likely get Tau because it's like, yeah, I generally want what's good for everyone.
Eldar, then their action says otherwise.
Yeah. And then as we were, like, talking, I thought you might lean more towards Chaos or Dark Eldar.
Yeah, I wanted to be Dark Eldars, but I did not get them at all.
Well, that's okay, because this is just this is based off your personality. You can still like the Dark Eldar, 100%.
Tau Empire, Chad. Did you think I'd get that? Tower Space Communists.
How are, like, the kids that were shipping, that were being shipped off to World War I? They're still young and naive enough that the galaxy hasn't beaten their morality into the dirt yet. That's true. Tau are NATO in space.
They sound more like Alexander the Great, though. Like, how when he took over, like, a civilization, instead of destroying it, he would, like, integrate them.
No, yeah, the Tau are really good at doing that. The other factions, not so much. They don't really care for that.
Should we start with the Tau, because that's what I got?
Sure. Everything.
Yeah, she made all of this. It's even hyperlinked.
Yes, well, because I didn't want to scroll through all of my slides and be like, all right, where are the Tau slides?
Oh, you put so much effort into this.
Thank you. I wanted it to be nice.
Did you do the test?
So I've done the test on my own. I believe last time I got Tau as well.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, I did all of your stuff. I probably could have answered my own, but I'm most likely going to be, like, Tau, just because of that. You forgot Votan on the list? Well, okay, so I only did it this way because these were the major 8 factions. Imagine, guys, if I had to make, like, a PowerPoint with every single faction ever. Can you imagine? We'd be here for 5 years. And I'm sure you guys would enjoy that.
It's such a big universe.
All right, so we have the Tau. So, these are just kind of... So, like I said before, if you have questions, stop me. Stop me at any moment, and I will answer them as best I can.
Yes.
I will know the most about the Imperium. Some of the other factions I don't know as much about. I will be 100% honest with you. So I will answer everything as best I can. These are kind of notes for me as, like, bullet points to go off of, but if something doesn't make sense, you let me know.
Okay, will do.
So, as we talked about before, the Tau... Their society is basically established on the idea of the greater good, as in the greatest good for the greatest number of people, specifically, like, within their society. And they have, like, you said, like, oh, wow, they seem like they're the good guys.
Yeah.
Which, this is true. They seem to be very good in comparison to other factions, but really, they're very hierarchical, and they have a caste system.
Oh, there had to be a but.
yeah, there's always a but.
Uh-huh.
So, essentially, the Tau, there's 5 castes, and they're basically decided at birth. It's based on what you do within society. So they are conveniently element-themed. So you have fire, water, earth, and air. So fire is, like, your warriors. So they do a lot of the fighting. You have your earth, which is usually, like, architects and engineers, stuff like that. Water caste is a lot of diplomats.
Okay.
And I think there's another one there that I've forgotten. And then air caste is like mercantile, merchants, that sort of thing. So they all do different things for the society. You can't marry between castes. So a fire caste member and a water caste, they can't. It's illegal. They are not allowed to get married.
That's silly, though.
Yeah, it is a bit silly. The ethereal caste, so they are separate. They basically work with everyone, and they tell people what to do, and they really push, like, the greater good. And everyone seems to be, like, a bit calmer around them, so it's kind of like, they may have some abilities that are maybe a little dubious.
Yeah,
a little dubious psychic at times.
Maybe they release some pheromones.
I was talking with a friend about this, because I told him I was working on this PowerPoint, and I was reviewing some sources to make sure I was saying things right before today. And I was like, it's so interesting they can't marry between the castes, and you want to know what my theory is. So
what is it?
they used to be able to marry between the castes, but then the ethereals like changed that. So here's my theory. There's this ethereal Tau, and he has this other colleague that he likes, like this chick, who's also an ethereal, but she really likes this buff Tau warrior from the fire caste. And he was like, but I want to marry her. I want to be with her. So he decided, he's like, you know what? I'll just make it illegal. I'll convince everyone that it's a bad idea.
Smart.
And so then she wasn't able to do it. That's my theory. That's just totally my own just headcanon because I thought it was funny. Because I was like, that's interesting that they like flipped it and it used to be like they could intermarry, but now it's like not allowed. So
you should write that novel into the 40k universe.
Yes. I
wonder how that works, by the way, because I know like a lot of authors are writing in the 40k universe. Is it like an open source kind of thing? Or...
So you can write, it's like you can write fan fiction about anything, and not like that fan fiction. Obviously, no one's stopping you. Anyone can write their own short stories, but the way Games Workshop, which controls the Warhammer IP, they have like a team of writers. So they have a bunch of authors that they've worked with that they use to release official books.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, to make sure that, you know, the information's correct and all of that.
I will say, so they've brought on new writers, and that's usually fine. So Games Workshop also is abbreviated to GW. So I'm going to use GW because it's a little easier. Even with established writers, they don't always remember the lore that other people have written about.
Oh no. Okay, so there's some contradiction here and there?
Yes, there's a lot of contradiction because there's a lot of writers. And honestly, I can't really blame them because there's so much content.
Fair enough. Yeah,
so you could write a short story about this ethereal being jealous about his ethereal sweetheart that wants to get with the fire caste warrior. Totally do that. But Games Workshop wouldn't be like officially endorsed.
Okay.
So on top of that, so the Tau, they have the Tau. I'm gonna send you a picture of the Tau because I did not put a picture in here. That is what they look like.
Oh, they look like Protosses from StarCraft.
I take your word for it. My chat says yes, they agree.
Yeah, they don't look like horses or cows, chat. You guys need to get your eyes checked. Yeah.
Yeah, StarCraft was originally a Warhammer game.
So how strong are they?
The Tau, their capabilities mainly lie in their weaponry. They developed really fast. They're kind of cool because in the 35th millennia, which is what this 35M is here, they had a very primitive society. The Imperium basically was like, yeah, they just found fire, so, you know, we're not too worried about them. But in like 6,000 years, they advanced really fast and they have a lot of like energy weapons. So they're not particularly strong in melee, but they have guns and those guns can shoot. And they basically use like these giant mech suits. So you saw it in the previous slide.
Yeah.
That's like that's like a mech suit that they have. And it's like, it's really cool.
Cool.
So it does more melee stuff, but they're better suited to like guns. And that's their MO. And I will say part of their society too, they do a lot of like convincing. They'll like, they want to make peace first and foremost. So they will accept other races into their society. However, they are generally treated as second-class citizens.
Oh no.
Yeah, so they do have melee fighters, but the melee fighters are generally from other races. So if they do have to fight something like head on, they'll send their mercenaries from other races.
Right.
And leave the Tau with their guns shooting in the back. There's also, I think they've retconned it since then, but it's kind of hard. It's hard to ignore this. At one point, there was talk that the humans that were part of the Tau society that decided they liked the greater good better than the Imperium, there was a point in time in the lore where the Tau had them basically chemically castrated.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
Because the humans are kind of like, I forget what the exact reason was, but like the humans are kind of volatile, and they're like, yeah, we don't really want more humans in our society. No, so it, like I said, like, so Jay, it used to be a thing. They have since retconned it. But that is still something that it hangs over everyone's head. Like, we know you guys like kind of made this as part of the lore at one point. It's kind of hard to ignore it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
The Tau want everybody to be equal, but the Tau themselves are more equal. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So that's kind of the part where it's like it's still not great because they still treat people not awesome. Like they're not pushovers just because they want peace. Like they will fight if they need to, but even within their society, it's not great, and the ethereals can be pretty dubious at times.
Right. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the democracy, you know, in ancient Greece, but it wasn't really completely democracy because, like, you know, the immigrants and the women couldn't vote, for example.
Right. And like even in this case, it's like a ruling class that decides the fate of everyone.
Yeah,
people don't get a say in stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's not equal at all after all.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like yes, dubious is putting it lightly. So that's kind of like the stuff on Tau that I kind of know and can speak towards. If you have questions, I can answer them. But I also, because this is a Warhammer stream and I got to make the PowerPoint, I decided, chat, that we might try to get her addicted to maybe painting some minis. So I have prepared some examples of minis for each faction so we can look at to see if you like any, to see if we can get you hooked on maybe painting some. So I have I picked out just like a couple. So these are the main like bigger minis that you would get for the Tau. So these are like the battle suits that they will use.
They're so cool.
They
I
are
love the orange one. Yeah.
I will say the Tau is like the most like anime.
Yeah.
Of all of the factions. They're very anime heavy. There was some like controversy when they were first released that they were like they were too good for a grim dark setting, and that their aesthetics were very different from all of the other factions. But since then, GW has kind of added some more like grim dark to their lore. Not a ton.
That's when the castration came in, I bet.
Yes, and then it got retconned. So who knows what they were going for. Yeah, Tau is the least 40k faction in 40k.
Maybe it's like, you know, when the veteran, when you get a dog, the vets are like, yeah, you got a male dog, it's better to castrate him so he chills out and stuff. Maybe that's what they wanted to do for humans. Like, oh, you guys are too volatile, you know, gonna make you chill out. I don't know, just maybe it's a theory.
Oh, okay. Oh, Rima, you want to say hi to someone in chat? I highly recommend his videos. Luton is another fellow Warhammer enjoyer. I will send you his channel later. Actually, he is wonderful. He is a very cool guy. I'll just send you. I highly recommend his videos. He has great stuff. We're like, I don't know, we're kind of friends. We're like pseudo acquaintance friends. We've done like a stream together. He's cool. I like him. Highly recommend his stuff. So he's popping in and he said hi. So
nice.
Hi.
That's cool that he came in on the castration discussion.
Yes. He has unbiased
faction?
videos about the Tau.
Ooh, okay, cool. What's his favorite
faction? I'm dubious. I don't know if he actually does. So these are like the main, these minis here.
Okay.
Those are like the big ones, definitely the more pricey ones. This is kind of like your like melee, and sorry, some of them are blurry because they didn't have great pictures and I like did my best. So these are your fire warriors, so like your guys, they're little guys on the ground. And then the Kroot warriors here, that is an example of one of the other alien races that they decided to, like, that they were like, you know what, we'll work with you. So these are one of your second class citizens here.
They barely have any gear.
Yes, that's common. That's common. So, yeah, there's also, I didn't include it here, there's another race that's really common that you see with the Tau. They're called Vespids. They're like humanoid insects. It's a little weird. They're kind of gross.
Okay.
I don't like them personally. They gave me the ick.
The fire warriors look like stormtroopers.
They kind of do look like stormtroopers. You're right, with the white.
Yeah.
But you can paint them in like any color you want, really. That could be heresy. Anyone who's an actual Tau player, they're like, no, you can't paint them any color. Do whatever you want. So yeah, those are the minis. I personally think the battle suits are pretty cool. Those are usually the highlight of the armies, and honestly, you can get minis and never play the game.
How does it work? Like the minis, do you have to assemble them?
Yes, so it comes in a kit. So it's a plastic kit.
Okay.
And are you familiar with injection molding?
No.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to explain.
Okay.
So basically, you have a mold and you put hot plastic through it, and then it cools and it makes the miniature. Do I have actually?
Whoa.
It's really neat. I was trying to see if I have a picture of something that's like on my shelf that I can send to you. Oh wait.
Sounds
right
like I'll
hang on.
could do some damage with this.
So let me take a picture. My desk is a bit of a mess. So basically, you cut the plastic off what they call the sprue.
Okay.
And then you glue it together and then you paint it. So it's very involved, but it can be a very fun process.
Okay, so you can actually start like from scratch, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Send it to you. Just taking a picture on my phone.
Yeah, I know a lot of my viewers had like 3D printers for that. I know when we did a room review.
Yeah, there's also you can get them resin printed. GW does for the most part plastic.
Wow.
So that's what an example of a sprue looks like. And then where's my lion? Let me grab
They're
him.
very detailed.
Some of the models are really detailed. One second, I'm gonna take my headphones off because I'm going to grab the miniature that goes to.
Don't toss your sprues, you can reuse them. Oh yeah, for sure. It's easier than the Falcon Millennium gingerbread you made? You really? But you gotta heat up the plastic?
So when you're making them, plastic, it's like basically in liquid form, so it's like super hot. This is like when the company manufactures them. You do not have to do any of this.
Okay.
This is just what the company does to make these.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you will receive the picture I sent you. You will get that in the box. You do not have to do anything. That'd be wild.
Oh, you just gotta cut them and then piece them together.
Yeah, you cut them, glue them together. So the picture I just sent you, there's the sprue on the right. You cut the pieces off. You glue them together. That's a bit of a base on the left.
Yeah.
And then the guy up top, I assembled him and I started painting him, but I'm not done yet.
Oh, that's from the human faction?
Yes.
Yeah. It looks very human.
Yep, he is a human. He's a big boy human. For chat, I showed her my Lionel Johnson that is partially painted.
Yeah. So do people color them like using the canon colors, or do they just decorate them the way they want to? Okay.
The best way, I have another friend who does Warhammer stuff, is that Warhammer is your hammer. You can do it however you want. If you want to paint your faction in hot pink, you can do it. If you don't want to paint minis and you just want to read about the lore, you can do it. Do you just want to play video games? Just play the video games. Do you just want to play tabletop? You can do that. It's whatever combination of things you want to do. You do not have to do it the canon way. I like to paint things in canon colors for the most part, but some of the like best miniatures I've seen is like something in like that's hot pink that shouldn't be hot pink, and it's funny, but it looks really good. Sometimes the artistry or like people can really show off their talent by doing something that is unconventional.
I bet there's some Reddit threads where people show off some like really good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I know some people that paint some really good minis. So.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, chat, if you guys gotta fund my hobby though.
Yes.
We're gonna need
fund
those
her
membership,
hobby.
those subs up.
We can investigate the Warhammer store if you're like, you know what, I want to look at more of this faction's minis. We can be like, all right, time to investigate. So those are the minis for the Tau.
Interesting.
What would you like to explore next? The world is your oyster.
Wait, what's the other stuff that I got?
The next one you got was...
Orcs.
Yeah, orcs.
I know a little bit about the orcs. They're cool. I like them. I like their mentality. I don't like orcs. I don't like the way they look, but I like their mentality. They're one of the boys.
The boys.
They look fun. Yeah.
The orcs are like mushroom men, which sounds weird. So they are asexual in nature. Basically, if you kill an orc, he's basically like a mushroom, because when he dies, he releases spores into the air and onto the ground, and the spores will later grow into an orc.
Oh, cool.
So they'll like so it's really hard to get rid of orcs because they just keep coming back even when you kill them.
Okay.
So yeah, orcs first started millions of years ago, millions and millions and millions of years ago. There's this race called the Old Ones. They're basically lizards, and they were fighting the Necron-Tyr. And it was a massive war, like trillions upon trillions of beings died.
What's the Necron-Tyr again?
the Necron tier, they are...
Rima would be super stealthy with her purple outfit. Well, there are some factions that were dressed in like clown colors. These guys were not stealthy at all.
Boom. Okay, we'll go back. We'll talk about the Necrons then.
Okay.
Because the Necrons kind of what start a bunch of this.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Oh, they look cool.
The Necrons, they're really cool. So, the Necrons were not always the Necrons. They were originally called the Necron tier. The Necron tier were like a humanoid race, but they lived on a planet that was like a little too close to their sun. Mm-hmm. So they basically like got radiation all the time. So they had very, very short lifespans. Like, they wouldn't live past, like, 40 years old.
Ooh.
That's how, like, short their lifespans were. And it was like they had cancer, essentially. Bad. A terrible time.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job, like, going out into the galaxy, like, making colonies. And they ran into this race called the Old Ones. Giant kind of lizards. They're very psychic. So basically, they're very good with magic. And... they said, hey, like, you guys are really good at a bunch of stuff. And you guys live basically forever. Can you, like, help us? Because we die so fast. We just want to live longer. Mm-hmm. And the Old Ones were like, no, we're not going to do that. So naturally, the Necron tier were very upset about this. And they decided they were going to go to war with the Old Ones. They had a lot of really good technology. So they decided, hey, we're gonna fight these guys because they're really being stupid like that.
Yeah, okay, so the Old Ones are the old race of the orcs.
No. Well, okay, no. I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
So, in order to fight the Necron tier, the Old Ones, because they are very psychic in nature, they created new races to fight the Necron tier on their behalf. The orcs are one of those races. Let me show you a picture of the
That's cool.
Old Ones. I did not include a picture of the Old Ones in here.
It's kind of weird that they're like magical reptiles. Magical crocodile. I'm just imagining Renekton with like some mage powers.
So this is one of the most common pictures you'll see of them. They're giant like lizard toady blobs.
Oh, they're not very fit.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. They're actual blobs.
Yeah, they're kind of blobby.
Okay.
So, those are the Old Ones. And essentially, so Old Ones created a couple races. The Eldar, or the Eldari, so the Space Elves, is another one of them. Mm-hmm. Basically, what happened is that the Necron tier absolutely got, like, blasted. The Old Ones beat them pretty bad, and the Necron tier were pretty bitter about that. But there were these star gods, these entities that saw the Necron tier and were like, hey, like, we see your plight. We can help you. We can cure your disease. We can cure you. And they were like, that sounds great. Like, what do we need to do? And they're like, okay, we have this machine. You got to build it. But if you go through it, you'll be cured. You will have long lives and you won't have space cancer anymore. So the Necrons did it, but they were deceived. Because the machine that they went through stole their souls, and they no longer had physical flesh bodies. They were turned into these robots that you see here.
Oh,
and these star gods called the Catan devoured their souls, so they no longer have souls.
That's horrible. Oh yeah, I remember that in the Bricky intro video. Okay, that's how it all started. The star gods are pretty cool though.
They are very cool, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty mean though.
Yeah, so essentially the Necron tier then are controlled by the Catan, because the Catan do not like the Old Ones, and they were like, hey, we'll help you fight the Old Ones as well. So they were like, sweet, now we have cannon fodder to fight the Old Ones because we want to eat them.
Yeah.
So essentially, the war in heaven is where tons and tons and tons and tons of people die. And at after the war in heaven, the Necrons were able to rebel against the Catan, and essentially they basically had to shatter them to like minimize their power and like contain them, kind of like Pokemon in a sense, in a very loose sense.
The Necrons were how did they rebel if they didn't have any willpower?
So This is the part, like, I vaguely know, and I'm kicking myself because I should have looked into it more. They have a leader who's called the Silent King, and basically he was able to trick the Catan because he has, like, he had, like, a small amount of, like, ability to resist their orders. The nobility do have some free will. So I do not know what specifically he did, but he did, he was able to trick them because the Catan became so powerful, and they're like, yeah, no one can beat us because we're awesome.
Oh, they got cocky.
That's what I am familiar with, but I do not know the specifics, and I'm kicking myself because I was like, I should look into that. I'm like, no, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, that's good enough. That's pretty spot on.
So the Necrons were basically able to rebel and then break them into little pieces. Yeah, it didn't go great for them. They basically still, like, lost. So in a way they won because the Catan, like, killed, like, pretty much genocided the old ones. They pretty much don't exist. There might have been a couple that escaped, but we're not really sure about that. I didn't say this part. After they went through the process where they got their souls removed, the Necron tier became the Necrons. Just for clarification's sake. So the Necrons are the robots, the Necron tier are the ones with the flesh, but now there are no more Necron tier in existence because they were all turned into Necrons.
Okay.
Let me know if there's any...
Can they reproduce, though? When they're turned... The Necrons are when they're, like, robot?
Yes.
But how do they reproduce and stuff? Like...
They don't anymore.
They don't? Also, they're just gonna die? Like, and get extinguished?
So what happens, and it kind of depends on where you are in their society. So the nobles have a lot more free will than, let's say, like, your peasantry do. So essentially when a Necron, like the robot, is, like, destroyed, it doesn't, like, die. So they don't have souls anymore, but it can basically be reanimated. But if you, like someone said here in chat, if you kill a Necron, so... Man, there's so much stuff. I'm so sorry. So if you kill a noble, the nobles have basically... They can essentially reincarnate, so their soul... Not soul, but I guess their consciousness gets saved, and it can go back into a new body. However, if you cut them off from their consciousness being, like, recycled, they are gone forever.
Oh, okay. It's like a true death.
Their mind is saved in, like, their cloud. Thank you, chat. I appreciate your guys' help. There's so much. Yeah, but not every Necron has a consciousness. Most of them are, like, nobles that have a consciousness, not, like, your regular line.
Okay. The Necrons' original plan was to wait for the entire galaxy to just die, but now they started waking up. They're figuring out what to do.
Yeah. I will say the Necrons did have a very sizable empire across the galaxy. They were, like, prominent for a very, very long time.
Okay.
And then things started sucking for them. Yeah. After the war in heaven, everything was pretty much terrible. So they were like, you know what? We want to rule the galaxy when things are a little bit better. So they're like, we are going to put ourselves in, like, to sleep. We are going to sleep for thousands and thousands of years, and we will wake up when the time is right. So in the Warhammer universe, the Necrons are beginning to wake up, and it's very much like the old person saying, what are all these kids doing on my lawn? Because to the Necrons, they owned all these worlds, and they're like, yo, you're not supposed to be here. We own this. This is ours.
Well, this is kind of cool. They're like these ancient gods almost.
They're really sick. Here are some of their minis going, like, kind of with the Egyptian theme. That's kind of their vibe. I did not include a picture of a Catan because you can have a Catan shard in your army. I'll send you a picture. So we have, like, a Necron monolith. That's kind of one of the bigger pieces. And then you have your kind of your average troops. There's a regular Necron, which is on the right side. And then one more, he's, like, a little bit higher up in society.
But the Necron monolith, is that, like, a living thing? Or is that a machine that they
No,
use?
it's basically a machine.
Okay.
A second, I'm sending you a picture of one of the Catan.
Oh, this is so cool. Oh, it looks like an angel.
I sent her the Void Dragon, guys.
Yeah, the Void Dragon looks sick.
And then there's another one that is called the Nightbringer, which is also pretty neat. So they basically harness them to like fight in their battles.
It's like a reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks fucking cool. Nice.
Yeah, so those are the Necrons. So now to the orcs, back to the orcs.
Now I get how this ties into the orcs.
Yeah, it's all, there's a lot of it that's like a bit interconnected, mainly like in the beginning. Orcs were basically the muscle of the old ones. Basically, they were super aggressive, but they weren't originally called orcs, they were called Krorks. And they were more intelligent than the current orcs we have like today. Current orcs are just like, I just want to fight, I want to like beat everything up, and I just want to have a good time. And that's pretty much all they do. But the Krorks had like way more advanced technology as far as we are aware, and were likely a lot bigger than orcs, and orcs can get really, really, really big.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I guess they devolved a bit to I just want war and carnage.
Yeah, I didn't find a lot of information. In chat, let me know if there's a source that I can, like, you know, access. I didn't find a lot of information as to why the orcs kind of devolved over time, and why Krorks, like, stopped being a thing. Because I didn't see too much of that. But for the sake of this, it was just like, okay, we'll just do that. Oh, they didn't have proper opponents, so they withered. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I wasn't really sure, because yeah, I didn't think it was really expanded upon. I was kind of like,
Well, yeah, I remember the whole psychic ability thing. So it's like when they feel very strongly, the entire group kind of feels it too. So even though they're disorganized in war, they kind of like move together.
Yeah, so they're kind of interesting. So the feelings are more for like the space elves, the Eldar.
Oh.
Orcs are kind of, I was trying to figure out how to articulate this, but essentially orcs have like a strong, they're like, they kind of have like latent psychic ability, but not generally on the individual level. It's like when there's a bunch of them. So like, for example, the orcs have a belief, this is kind of one of the memes, that the color red makes things go faster. So for us humans, we would see something that's red and we're like, oh, that's red.
Yeah.
No big deal. But if the orcs see something that's red, they're all like, hey, that goes faster. And by the nature of them believing it goes faster, it will go faster.
Oh yeah, they manifest it.
Yes, yeah, they basically manifest it, but they don't really realize that they do that. So things that shouldn't work, so like, for example, say you have like a broken down car because you like ran out of oil. You're like, well, yeah, this isn't going to work anymore. The orc will just find the car and it's like, oh, I'm just going to drive it and it's going to work. And it will just work.
That's
even though it shouldn't, because there's no oil in the car.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's like they get into this like mass euphoria where they all like, yeah, they're like driven by mob mentality is also what I was thinking.
100%. Like their main thing is they love a good fight. They like, and they don't even care. I mean, they maybe care a little bit if they die, but they love a good fight. They love a good battle. They call like their crusades where they'll go and fight other races. They'll call them Wahs. It's kind of like their way of saying war.
Oh, okay.
So they'll go on a Wah, and if it's big enough, they'll basically like link up with a bunch of other orcs from different factions, and they will like put aside their differences sometimes to go fight other people. Like, look, there's a big fight happening over here. Like, let's go fight them together. We love this.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're really silly, and for the most part, they're like the comedic relief of the setting. They're really dumb and stupid. They're terrifying. Like, don't let them being like dumb like fool you. They are terrifying. They're massive and daunting. If you saw an orc in real life, you'd be terrified.
Probably.
Terrified. Yeah. But they are just meant to be like silly and goofy. And when you play them on tabletop, like, I'm not getting into tabletop stats, but they're basically like anything that can go wrong could go wrong, but it could also go so well. So sometimes you can roll something where your vehicle explodes, or it explodes in a way that like it destroys the other person's army. There's like a bunch of really cool things that can happen with orcs. They're just really silly.
Depends how strongly they feel about something, or they believe in, I guess. Every faction has like this mentality that they strongly believe in that seems to be like their driving force. and it's almost like a faith, but on even though it's not called religion.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that applies to just kind of most everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure in the 40k universe, it's definitely something that's more prominent.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's interesting.
So these are the minis that we have. So we have Gazgul. He is currently in the setting. He is the biggest orc you will probably ever lay your eyes on. He is kind of leader of the orcs right now, and he is doing a lot of damage.
Wow.
Just kind of to the universe as a whole. So this is him in his giant like mech suit. It's pretty intimidating and scary.
Yes.
The guy on your left is kind of your standard orc. So I forget, guys, how tall is Gazgul? He's massive. Orcs are normally like 8 to 12 feet tall. It kind of varies.
The orc boy is like the classic orc, you know, from every universe.
Yeah.
It's wholesome in a way.
Yeah, except he has a gun.
Oh yeah.
And then
I love this one. I love the car. That's the one I would get.
So they have even more like this. So a lot of what the orcs build, they're like kind of ramshackle. They'll just find stuff and throw it together and it'll just work.
Yeah. There's a little one in the front too.
Yes, that is one of their. So they have a second. They are related to orcs. They're like making sure Gretchens.
They look like goblins a little bit.
Yes, they're basically like little goblins. They serve the orcs.
Oh. Yeah, it's very Mad Max inspired, but I like how colorful it is as well.
Oh, you can get so many really cool colors, and you'd probably like it. There was actually a miniature that was released that they revealed just like a few weeks ago. It's an orc on a motorcycle. It is a very cool miniature. Very Mad Max inspired.
Nice. Very nice.
No, these are not my minis. No. Definitely not. These are ones I found off the internet. I do not have this many minis.
Probably pretty pricey as well.
Yes, 100%. These are not cheap, but they're really fun to paint.
Nice.
So those are the orcs. So that was your second one. So they're kind of all about like chaos.
Yeah.
Well, they're not chaos, but they're chaotic.
Yes, they are. They are chaotic. And also, I think if they run out of opponents to fight, they'll start fighting each other, which makes sense because they only grouped up to fight somebody. So
yeah. The hierarchy is like the biggest orc is the boss. That's the guy who's in charge, and so they'll always be like, "Well, I want to be the guy in charge." So, all right. Now the other two that you had were tied that were chaos and tyranids.
Oh yeah. Listen to chaos.
All right. Let me tell you about the warp. The warp is essentially a mirror dimension of our reality.
Oh yeah.
It's not exactly like a mirror, but it's basically a plane that reflects the emotions and thoughts of beings living in reality. So initially, when the universe was new, it was fairly calm and peaceful. There wasn't much going on. It was like a chill place. So when you died, your soul went to the warp and, it was just there and it was a good time. It was a good time. The war in heaven changed all that. So I told you like trillions.
Yeah, it tipped the balance because there was too much death and emotions.
Death, emotion, specifically bad emotions and pretty terrible desires of just beings, not necessarily I don't even think humans were around then. It was just a bad time. Any sentient being basically affects the warp. So essentially, the warp became very turbulent and volatile. And in the beginning, 3 chaos gods formed. The oldest being Nurgle, who is this guy, the green guy in the corner.
Oh yeah, he's gross. I remember him.
Yeah, he is the god of disease, decay, death, and rebirth.
Yeah, it's like rot.
We have Tzeentch, who is the god of change, evolution, and mutation. And then Khorne, war, hatred, and rage. Now, one of the things that is about these chaos gods is that they're not really gods in a sense. They're just a reflection of those desires made manifest. And there's a lot of I don't like this as much personally. I don't like the chaos gods, but it's always like there's always two sides of the coin. So where Nurgle is disease and decay, there's also life and like rebirth. Tzeentch is like change and like deception, deceit, but it's also like ambition and cunning.
Okay.
And then Corn is like war and like rage, but he's also what was like kind of like justice and like a bit of honor.
Maybe
Thank you guys.
strength. Oh, honor. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, honor and yeah, strength too.
Mm.
So, and Slanesh is another one that comes later. So
From the
Slanesh
Dark
is,
Elders, no?
from the Eldar.
From the Eldars, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, when they became too degenerate.
Yes. In Slanesh is like lust, but lust and like degeneracy, but the other side of that is like passion and like pleasure, which you know aren't. I personally just like seeing chaos being like bad, but there is a lot to be said where they are both things. They are both good and bad. We just see a lot of the bad stuff because in 40k there is war all the time now. Now it's nothing like during the war in heaven, but it's still.
So do the gods? But these a faction? Like, are they considered a faction?
Oh, I was trying to figure out how to put this all together. Chaos as a whole encompasses all 4 chaos gods.
Mm-hmm.
They each have their own desires. So Khorne wants to be the main chaos god. They each like fight each other. So they each have their own like underlings and people that work for them and like demons. But they also work together at times.
Okay.
That's kind of, you know, starting with that.
Kind of like the Olympus gods, but more gross.
Yeah, definitely more gross.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, they can be worshipped individually or all at once. They have demons that work underneath them. So, the best way to kind of describe some of the chaos stuff, because there's more chaos stuff there's more chaos stuff, I think, in the human factions that you see more than any of the other races in particular. The Horus Heresy is tied to humans. What do you know of the Horus Heresy?
I know that I think, wasn't there like some of the Emperor's son that got corrupted and that turns against him?
Yes. So there is a character that everybody hates. His name is Erebus.
Oh, is he the bald guy?
He is one of the bald guys. There's a couple bald guys. We do not like Erebus. He was basically talking to the chaos gods. He corrupted. So Horus is one of the Emperor's sons. Lorgar is another one of the Emperor's sons. But Horus was in charge of everything. So Erebus corrupted Lorgar, one of the Emperor's sons. And then Lorgar helped corrupt Horus to betray humanity.
Oh, no.
So to work with the chaos gods. So he worked with the chaos gods in one big group. He didn't serve just one of them. They basically said like, hey, your dad kind of sucks. They don't like his dad. We will empower you so you can defeat your dad because your dad is being really he's being lame. And Horus is like, this is a good deal. I like this. So he got corrupted. During the Horus Heresy, Horus basically corrupted his other brothers. Like he convinced them to join his side. And some of them were corrupted directly by chaos. So some of them worship individual gods. So for example, he has a brother named Fulgrim that fell to Slanesh specifically. Another one named Angron that fell to Khorne specifically. So you can do it individually. However, some of the traitor legions aren't fond of chaos. They just don't like the Emperor. So they did not necessarily side with chaos, but they're kind of lumped together, chaos/traitors.
Yeah, because they just saw an opportunity to, be an upstart, I guess.
Yes, because they were like, yeah, we don't really like how the Emperor did things, but we don't really want to side with how Chaos is like doing stuff, so we're just we'll fight, but we're not going to pledge ourselves to any god.
Yeah.
So when I was making this, I was like, I have to encompass both Chaos and traitor legions, because traitor legions for humanity are generally lumped under chaos for the most part. So I do have, yes, I have one more slide. So after the Horus Heresy ultimately fails because the Emperor kills Horus, and he was their leader, so all of the traitor legions basically scatter. And skitter.
Skitter.
They skitter away. And there's the Eye of Terror. There is basically this area in space where they can hang out, where it's very hard for people who aren't aligned with the malevolent powers of the warp.
Oh,
they can
God.
just kind of hang out there. Other people like have a really hard time getting through it.
But if you worship a god or you get aligned with their, do you get any like special powers or anything?
The Chaos Gods love giving their champions powers.
Mm.
So Horus got a bunch of buffs because he sided with them. He got like super strong, like he got a lot of buffs, and it depends on which Chaos God you're siding with. So for example, one of the brothers sided with Khorne, so he became just like a melee rage demon. So he got really cool wings, and he's just an extremely like he's a monster in melee combat.
Okay.
So he's really, really good at fighting. And one of the things for Khorne is, you've probably heard this, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, because he loves war and fighting.
Right.
So yeah, you can get extra buffs because you worship them. They usually like to give gifts, but sometimes they're very fickle. So they're not always reliable.
Sometimes they'll trick you.
Some of the Primarchs, or like Horus's brothers, that fell to chaos, they're called demon Primarchs. Okay. And they are still alive, but they really don't mess with the world currently. That's kind of changing in recent times, but that's a whole other story. And then there is a group of Space Marines led by Horus's second in command. His name is Ezekiel Abaddon. He has united a lot of the war bands into what we now know as like the Black Legion. It's essentially Chaos Undivided. That's basically what worshipping all four of them at once is called.
Okay. So these are the traitor band. They're like the dark part of the humanity that are against the rule of the Emperor.
So here, the minis are a great example of like the different parts of chaos as a whole. So here we have this Lord of Skulls. Now this guy is basically a demon of Khorne. Okay. So you can simply, in the chaos category, you can just play demons. You're like, I just want to do Khorne. You can also do something related to the traitor Primarchs. So this is a traitor Primarch named Magnus. He was corrupted by Tzeentch. He worships Tzeentch, essentially. So you can play him. And then you have Abaddon the Despoiler, where he, that's the guy I mentioned earlier, where he doesn't necessarily have an allegiance with any particular chaos god.
The sword is cool. The Primarchs are the Emperor's son?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So the Emperor, the Emperor is a very powerful being.
Yeah.
And he wanted to conquer the stars with humanity. But he's like, I can't do it by myself. I need help. So he created 20 like test tube babies that were designed to be his generals. And they're all supposed to have like a portion of him, like his like personalities and characteristics tied to each one. So the Primarchs, that's what they were called, the Primarchs.
Okay.
And they're essentially supposed to help him in his great crusade to conquer the galaxy for humanity.
Is he, the Emperor, like in terms of power scale, is he as strong as the Chaos Gods?
He is the most powerful human to have ever existed. I'm trying to think, we've not really had like a one-on-one fight of the Emperor versus like the Chaos Gods. But he's very strong, so probably.
Okay.
We don't know for sure though.
Anyway, saying otherwise would be heresy, probably.
Yes, but also a lot of people do not know about chaos, at least in the Imperium.
Oh, okay. It's so like just a shadowy force that might corrupt you.
There's like more stuff. It's so in depth. I'm actually surprised at how much like my brain, like how much knowledge I just have like just tucked away in here. I'm like, oh yeah, there's this and this and this. I'm like, boy, word vomit.
You're doing great. I love this.
Thank you. So those are like kind of the three routes you can go if you want to play chaos. Okay. Sorry, like Black Legion players, I kind of had to lump them in there. It was kind of I only had so many options. Now these are the minis that like would work underneath them. So you have Demons of Khorne. So this is no, that's just a regular demon.
Yeah.
This is a Space Marine right here, but he serves Magnus. So you can have him like this. And then this is a Black Legionnaire. So
Okay.
those are like the routes you can different go. These are just to give you an idea of aesthetic. So if you're like, man, I really like this guy with the skulls. He's super cool. Or like, dude, I really like how he's got kind of magical vibes going on. He looks great. Or like, I like skulls, but I like Space Marines.
Yeah. Or I like the armor guy, but he has tank feet.
Yeah.
He has feet.
So yeah, that's just to give you an idea of vibes, because Chaos is kind of like very, there's a lot of different ways you can go, and I'm not even showing you all the traitor Primarchs and what they look like. I would say the human factions are the ones that are most varied for the most part in terms of like aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I'll show you that when we go to the Imperium slides. And maybe that's probably good. Maybe we do that one next.
Okay.
Because I already kind of talked about
the
it.
simple fact you know of the chaos existence, you are open to corruption to believe is the grand power.
Yep.
Oh, I see. It's like the more you believe in something, the more powerful it gets. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's also kind of being aware of it
Uh-huh.
leaves you open, like they said, to like being corrupted yourself, because you're aware, you know.
That's an
It's
option.
kind of essentially what they said. Yeah, it's like you could, it's easier. So we'll go to the Imperium next, because I kind of like talked about that.
Yeah.
So I found this really funny. I was making the slides for this, and for most of the factions, I had like 2 or 3 slides about like, okay, this is kind of their general history, this is their general origins, that should be good. Yeah, I have like 5 or 6 slides for the Imperium.
Yeah,
you can tell which faction's
so
my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're everybody's favorite. I think they're probably the most popular one.
They are for sure.
Yeah.
It's just funny because I know for the Necrons, I probably could have made a couple slides like if I was a Necron player, and I was like, oh well, this is how the Silent King betrayed the Catan, and like because there is enough information for a lot of these factions to like really get into the details, but I was like, I have 5-6 slides on the Imperium, and I'm not really ashamed because they're my favorite.
Yeah, I can tell from the armor.
Yes.
What? Very similar.
What? How did you know?
Yeah. It's very Valkyrie like inspired.
Oh, thank you. This was like a combination of like I wanted it to have more of a Warhammer look, but I also incorporated a lot of like fantasy elements to it, so it was unique, and you know I wouldn't get sued.
Oh, right. No, I love it, and you did well. I'll never forgive Chaos. They took away our glorious golden hawk boy Jesus figure from us. Never forgive, never forget.
Yes, we will speak of Sanguinius. He is my favorite character in all this. I love him. I did not put a picture of him in the PowerPoint, which I guess chat will be surprised to hear because he's my boy. I love him. So humanity is basically essentially normal human history is just happening at this time. So right now is like the history of humanity in 40k. So the Emperor is the most powerful psyker to ever exist.
Oh, so he's a psyker, but that can like control his powers.
Yes.
Oh.
So we believe how he came about is that there are many ancient shamans that sacrificed themselves like collectively, and they essentially created this powerful psychic entity, the Emperor.
Cool.
He basically like can't die. He's called the Perpetual, so he just doesn't die. There are other people that are similar. They're called Perpetuals, and that they silently guide history. So it's like assumed that he might have prompted some important historical events. So for example, you mentioned this earlier, Alexander the Great. There's a theory that he was actually Alexander the Great, or maybe he was also Napoleon, that he has silently guided history so that humanity could excel in the long run. So he's kind of cool for that if that's true. That's the guess.
Cool. Okay, that's really cool. But also Alexander the Great was gay. So maybe that means that the Emperor might have had a crush on his best friend.
I know.
That's some yaoi.
He's also had kids. Like, not just the Primarchs.
Real
Emperor
kids.
has had... They don't really talk about it much. They're called, I believe, the Sensei. But the Emperor, yeah, I mean, he's a super powerful dude. I bet you he did the nasty. For sure.
So he has like some, I don't know, are they called like bastard childrens scattered across the galaxy?
I mean, so you could argue that what I'm saying is like retconned, but like over the course of him being alive, he probably had sex.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
for
come
sure.
on. Like he's gonna do it. So that he has like, I guess you could call them bastard children, but he wasn't like always like a ruler, so it's not like, so yeah, he probably has had kids. They're called the sensei, and there is like theories that the, oh gosh, there's more context. There's theories that they have been sought out, not by him, by other people, and that they have been killed because they didn't, a group didn't want them to necessarily exist. This could have been, this is like, you know, maybe retconned, that particularly happened, but odds are he did have like regular kids and not just like, you know, Primarchs.
That makes sense. He's been living for so long. And he's like a powerful dude that like he's like the most popular dude.
Yeah, the ladies would love him.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if these natural kids also had like some of his power, some of his strength. I mean, probably.
Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe they did probably. I don't know too much about him because again, it's also pseudo retcon, so it's like how much of it is like actually true. Odds are he had kids, and odds are they did get some of his power, but probably not the same. The sensei were shapeshifters. Is that okay? It was a long time since I looked into the sensei.
It's interesting. That's like when I play Crusader Kings 3 and I have a bunch of kids, but I can't find them anymore because I've too many. They're just scattered around the universe. But, you know, my seed is everywhere.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and that is the case for him. That is 100% the case for him. So yeah, he did all these things with the ultimate goal to advance humanity and to like basically his ultimate goal was to send humanity to the stars. But a lot of crap happens because humans were really good at messing things up. So after like, you know, our time like right now, after the 21st century.
Okay.
Imagine like your standard sci-fi environment. So you get your Star Trek, you get your Star Wars, you get like AI is like thinking on its own, doing cool things. There's a golden age of technology, reason, and progress. Like everything is going great.
Nice.
And then bad things happen, like AI rebellion. So you got your Terminator stuff going on. Like,
oh no.
Everything happens, it's a bad time. Oh wait, hang on. Basically, a lot of stuff happens. Humanity no longer trusts AI because they rebelled. They're very particular about their technology. They're like, no, we are not dealing with anything AI anymore.
Oh, so it's like in Dune.
Yes. Yeah. So it's basically a Dune environment, and there's a lot of warring factions, also very Mad Max.
Cool.
Where everyone was fighting each other, and then the Emperor reveals himself, and he's like, this is stupid. He basically has a bunch of genetically modified warriors. Like, he's really smart. So they're called the Thunder Warriors, and he basically conquers Earth. They also call Earth Terra. That's usually the name they call it from this point on. And he basically conquers all of these warring tribes, and he's like, I'm in charge now, and I'm gonna make things good. So conquers everything, and he's like, we're going to space because we're not going to be contained to this planet. We are going to conquer the galaxy because humanity used to conquer and like control a good chunk of the galaxy. Like they had a lot of planets. They did colonization. Like they colonized Mars. They did a bunch of cool stuff. But there is this time called the Age of Strife, and essentially humanity was basically fragmented and they couldn't communicate with each other. It was a bad time for everyone.
I mean, he could have showed up earlier. He took his damn time.
Yeah, so I will say, and I don't know about this like directly. So the Age of Strife occurred when Slaanesh was born. So yeah, it basically, this is, when did the Age of Strife happen, guys? I remember we talked about this like probably a few months ago. If it was in the 10K or if it was 20K, what year it was in. I thought it was like 20 to 25. That's what I thought. Okay, so, all right, they're saying this happened in the year like 25,000.
Okay.
So this is like 23,000 years from our current moment.
Okay.
So that is when Slaanesh is born. And when that happens, it basically jacks everybody up. It was that big of an event. It was that big of a catastrophe. It ruined like communications for everyone. Everything sucks because the Eldar decided they couldn't keep it in their pants, among other things.
Right, like it makes everybody crazy, kind of like when there's a full moon.
Yeah, but it was like, it was really bad because a whole new Chaos God was born, and it messed everything up. So you could argue that the Emperor didn't know that was going to happen, because he could have stepped up and been like, oh, I mean, because if you think about it, humanity was doing everything they were supposed to do. And they were like, oh, look, we're colonizing, we're doing what we're supposed to. He could have been like, you know what, things are going well. I'm not going to mess with this.
Yeah.
And then the Age of Strife happens, and it's like, oh, well now I got to do something, because everything now just like was terrible.
Yeah.
So
he comes in, he's got big dreams.
Big dreams. He unites the world, and he says, I'm in charge now. And this is when, during this process, after he's united Earth, that he...
That's really funny. We've conquered the galaxy, we've solved war hunger, all there's left is sex, and somehow this led to the downfall of a civilization. That's true.
Yes. We'll talk about the Eldar next, because
like the opposite problem our humanity has right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Eldar are very interesting, and there's a reason why that happened. It's kind of fascinating. So, the Emperor has united the world, and he's like, I'm going to make my generals, so his Primarchs, aka his sons, so that it's easier to conquer the galaxy. So, in order to make the Primarch, the Emperor made some sort of deal with the Chaos Gods to make the Primarchs really busted. But the Chaos Gods didn't like it, because the Emperor basically, like, tricked them. Because he was like, hey, I'd like to know how to make these entities. And like, okay, we'll tell you our secrets. And then he was like, psych, like... haha, tricked you. So I'm just gonna take what you told me and...
But why would they give him the answer? The Chaos Gods are kind of dumb.
I think they thought they would get more out of it. I don't know exactly what the deal was, or I just can't remember right now. But basically the Chaos Gods are pissed. They're like, this is stupid. He tricked us. So essentially there's some retcons about this, but they were involved in scattering the Primarchs. So the Primarchs are in their like gestation tubes, so they're in their little test tubes. They're obviously like baby sized or something. And the Chaos Gods basically get them launched across the galaxy. So now the Emperor's like, bro, all of my generals are gone, so I've got to go conquer the galaxy now.
Yeah.
So he needs to go conquer the galaxy, but his Thunder Warriors that he made to conquer Earth, they're very unreliable. They were a good rough draft, but they are way too schizophrenic, psychotic, really incredibly aggressive. And he's like, they're not really reliable anymore. So he basically makes a plan where he takes them all out. And during this time, he has been secretly making a new kind of Thunder Warrior that we now know as Space Marines. They are basically designed off the genetic template of his like Primarch sons.
Okay.
So they each have their own like specialties and their own like traits. So the legions, this is like what you'll hear about, like the Primarch legions, they each have specializations. So some of them are really good at stealth and hiding. Some are really good duelists. Some are really good in melee. Stuff like that.
He could have made new Primarchs.
He could have, but it is a very difficult process. And part of... So there's been some retconning regarding how the Primarchs got scattered, but the most recent bit is that the chick that helped him create these, who like provided her half like of the DNA to make the Primarchs, she found out that her sons were going to be like basically generals and like just be in war all the time. She didn't want that for them. And so she decided, you know what, I don't want this fate for them. So she scattered them across the galaxy. That is the current, that's the current reason. A lot of people don't really like it, but that's neither here nor there. So he would have a hard time, since she specifically helped him make the Primarchs, she would not really be inclined to help him make more.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So they ran out of mats.
Yeah. So yeah, now the Emperor is like, great, I gotta go conquer the galaxy. And as he starts to conquer the galaxy, he finds his Primarchs. And the first one he finds, most likely, there's some debate about this, is Horus, who essentially becomes the Emperor's most favorite son, and he's very accomplished. He's a very, very cool dude.
Oh, but he's the one that turns against him, no?
You are correct. You are correct.
Oh
Which brings us
no!
to the Horus heresy. So
His armor looks cool here, though.
it is very cool. It's very cool. So the Great Crusade is what the Emperor called the crusade across the stars for humanity to reconquer the galaxy. Majority of the Primarchs are found. He made 20. There's only 18 now. There's some talk about 2 of them, and if they were found and then killed, or what happened there, who knows. Anyways, the Emperor has been leading the Great Crusade, and he's like, you know what, I have a secret project that I want to work on. Essentially, it was a method for humanity to travel the galaxy safely. So currently, the way that you can go across the galaxy quickly is by going through the warp. So you basically need a kind of psyker called a navigator that will basically tear open a hole in reality so you can travel through the warp. You've played Minecraft, right?
Yeah. It's like
the Nether.
Yeah.
It's like that. So you can travel a lot faster. However, it's very, very dangerous. Now, the Webway project is related to the Eldar. Basically, it's imagine corridors, but it's in another plane of existence. Not the warp exactly, but you can pop in one area and then pop out another, and it's significantly safer. The Eldar used it a lot. They got it from the old ones, basically. The old ones also created the Eldar. Okay, so the Emperor is like, hey, I'm leaving the Great Crusade. I'm going to appoint Horus, my favorite son, as the War Master because he's really accomplished. He did not tell anyone what his plan was because he's the Emperor. He doesn't need to explain himself. Unfortunately, Horus feels very overburdened because leading a massive war effort across an entire galaxy is exhausting. And he felt like he was abandoned by his dad, and he felt like his brothers were trying to undermine him. And on top of that, he's like, bro, like, my dad just like up and left, and I'm worried that he is going to, so I know he destroyed the Thunder Warriors because he needed to. Will he destroy us once the Great Crusade is complete? Will he have a use for me and my brothers? Does he even care about us?
Oh no.
Yeah,
you could have gotten a hug from Daddy and it would have fixed everything.
I know. And it's the sort of thing where he had all these thoughts. He gets mortally wounded during a battle. And Erebus, that guy we told you about who's terrible.
That everybody hates, yeah.
He basically puts Horus in a situation where he is then corrupted and tempted by chaos. And he takes the deal to overthrow the Emperor and side with chaos. And then he convinces his other brothers to help him.
That's terrible.
Yep, so then it's a massive civil war, and it's a bad time.
Okay. So, but some of the brothers were against it, probably? Oh, okay,
yeah, so
they fought.
Yeah. So half the brothers sided with the Emperor, and the other half sided with Horus. So it was 9 versus...
And nobody thought to send a letter to the Emperor, like, yo, you should probably come back. There's some trouble at home.
That's funny that you say that. It's really tragic. There is, so you remember on the Chaos Miniatures page, there's the guy with the wings?
Yeah.
Okay, so that guy is Magnus. Magnus is a very potent psyker. He has the most psychic ability out of his brothers. So he is like second to the Emperor in terms of ability. So Magnus found out that Horus was doing some stuff, and he's like, dude, this is bad. I need to warn my dad about this because, it's really bad. And so he attempts to contact the Emperor. However, the Emperor was working on the Webway project, and when Magnus was trying to talk to him, he kind of made a deal with some people. He accidentally broke the Webway project trying to, like, basically telepathically talk to his dad. And he basically punched a hole in the project and allowed a lot of demons to start attacking what the Emperor was working on.
Oh, no.
That is just a very, very brief, very minimal explanation of it. So it's really funny that you said, like, didn't someone try to warn him?
Yeah.
Magnus tried to warn him.
Oh, no.
And he basically opened a rift from the warp into the webway that the Emperor was working on.
But did he get the message or no? Not even.
No, because the Emperor was kind of really pissed.
No.
And, like, Magnus was like, oh no, I messed up. And because he, like, messed up so badly, he was like, my dad's never gonna forgive me. So I'm just gonna side with Horus, I guess.
No way!
Yeah, that's really dumbed down. There's more information about that. It's so funny that you're like, did someone not try to contact him? Yeah, there's way more to it. There's, like, books on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's, like,
So
too ashamed, so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna side against him. I can't face him anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really funny. You'll see the memes where Magnus did nothing wrong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what it's about. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get
so
the
that
memes.
it is specifically talking about that because
Oh my god.
he did try to do a good thing. It was just, it could have been better. It could have been better. Yeah. And unfortunately, one of the things that didn't help and what also made Magnus want to side with Horus more was that one of the other sons of the Emperor, one who was loyal, he is called like the Emperor's executioner.
Okay.
His name is Leman Russ, and he was sent to go collect Magnus. And then they ended up fighting, and he broke his back. Leman Russ broke Magnus's back, so it was.
So he
pretty
thought his
bad.
father sent him to execute him?
Yeah, essentially. But it was like
no.
it could have been explained better. It was like, hey, we just want to talk, but yeah, Leman Russ also destroyed his home world, so it's a dumpster fire, man.
Yeah, it is.
This whole story is just like, man, if we had just like chilled for a second and talked, maybe we could have figured it out.
Unlucky.
Yeah, there's even more stuff on top of that, but those are just kind of like the main bits. But I found it so funny. They're like, didn't someone try to send a letter? I'm like, they did. It did not work out.
I like you're giving me the history simplified version of it. It's kind of fun.
I'm glad you like it. There's like
that.
so many books. There's like 300 Warhammer novels. And like 60 to 80 of them are specifically talking about the Horus Heresy, which happens over the course of, I think it's like 6 to 7 years. Like the Civil War is like 6 to 7 years, maybe 10. Show the chart. Okay, one sec. 1 second. Horus Heresy book chart. Goodness, it's so big. That's what she said. Anyways. All right, here is the chart. I will put it up on.
Oh, 6, 7 mentioned.
Oh, guys, shut your faces. Shut your faces. Mods, ban that guy. I'm kidding. Okay, I sent you the chart. I'm gonna put it up on my screen, but it'll be on my OBS. Oh, it's big.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's like a whole flow chart, and someone did this for fun. You do not have to read them like this. This is just like explaining all the events and when they happen and in what order, and it's insane. Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's a really big universe.
Yes, and this is just over like only like a few years. Like it's not like this is over thousands of years.
Probably bigger than Star Wars.
100% bigger than Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's bigger than Star Wars, but I would need someone to confirm because I know Star Wars has novels. I don't think it has that many.
If you want a funny, fun, abridged version, I highly recommend If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. Oh, you know what he's talking about.
Yes, I do know what he's talking about. That requires a little bit more context because that's more like funny and silly. And it does provide some introduction to the Warhammer universe, but it's not something I would necessarily gather lore from.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Okay,
Horus Heresy. Ultimately, it fails. However, Horus gravely wounds the Emperor, like mortally wounds him.
Oh no.
So things begin to suck again because the emperor, in order to preserve his life, he has this thing called the Golden Throne, which he was using to work on the Webway project. Unfortunately, it requires, like, he sits on the Golden Throne, but he's no longer, like, able to speak and act in the way he once was able to. So he is essentially like a corpse rotting on the Golden Throne, and all his work unravels. So where before everything was governed by like reason and science and all that stuff, it starts to devolve, and it becomes, as kind of what I put on here, an authoritarian, imperial, religious, feudal, galactic empire. They worship the emperor now. He was always like, I'm not a god, I'm just a man, even though he's like
kind of godly.
20 feet. Yeah, kind of. He's like 20 feet tall and can do magic. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, everyone worships him. They're like, no, the emperor, he is a god, and he watches over us, but he never wanted that. And also because the Imperium is so large, like, you know, bureaucracy now, you know, like the government, and they're slow with things. Imagine that on a galactic scale.
Yeah, from planet to planet. Imagine how long a message must go through.
Yes, everything is tied up in red tape. Logic and reason are abandoned, and the imperial truth, which was basically like humanity first in a sense, like it no longer exists.
Oh no.
Yeah, but there is like a little bit of hope. The Imperium is like still like very strong, and like one of the things that I really like generally for like sci-fi is that humanity is generally portrayed as like strong, and they like hold out no matter what. Like
they're hopeful.
Yeah, they're hopeful, and also they're just like, you cannot like get rid of humans because they will just keep going. They never stop. There's like a word that I know is like in my mind, but I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot think of the word. It's like a very particular word. It's like indomitable, tenacious,
resilient?
Invasive. Excuse me. Indomitable was the word I was thinking.
Okay.
Thank you. But yeah, it's that indomitable spirit that humans have.
Oh yeah. You can't crush their light.
So they exist in the galaxy, and they, even like though things suck, they strive and they keep going. But yeah, society kind of sucks because everything is just a dumpster fire for them.
They kind of built him up to be a martyr / god. Yeah, symbol of faith.
Yes. Now, if we want to talk about an actual martyr,
and he's also holding back demons.
So it is assumed that the Emperor being on the Golden Throne basically helps in some ways keep chaos at bay. Because of what happened in the Webway.
But it's not confirmed?
My brain is telling me no, but I don't know if that's 100% true. I'm going through the data files. Yeah, there's still a hole in the Webway, so the Emperor basically has to stop that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That his son made. No!
Yep.
Oh, no.
And now, you mentioned martyrs, so I'm going to talk about my favorite boy, my husband. All right, let me get a picture, and then you'll understand. I should have had this prepared. All right, I'm just going to bombard you with
Let's
pictures. See it. Congratulations, you have now reached my favorite character, my husband. His name is Sanguinius. He is one of the Primarchs. He is, isn't he?
Yes, I like him.
Let's see, this where is the picture? Oh, I love this.
Maybe I like humanity more now.
Yes. Where is my favorite picture of him? Where is it? There it is. This last one is my favorite picture of him. This is one of the pictures that I saw that I was like, yep, this is the guy. I love him.
Oh yeah.
So Sanguinius is the Primarch. So, you know, he's kind of got a mutation going on there. He looks like an angel. And
that's a good
he
mutation.
is basically like the Emperor's second favorite. Might actually be the Emperor's like actual favorite, but he is like high up there on the list because he is noble, kind. He does things with like grace and dignity. He's also, well, like, this is just kind of fun. He has like, he's a little bit corrupted. Not exactly, not by chaos. He has this like flaw in his genetics where he drinks blood, so he's a vampire angel.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, right? Right? It's so hot. Yes. So he is basically okay. So I'm gonna go off on a tangent. I love Sanguinius. So a lot of people think Sanguinius is lame because they're like, oh, he's like so perfect. I've read the Sanguinius books, and I want to set the record straight. So a lot of people think Sanguinius is perfect because he puts on this like perfect facade, and he's just like, oh yeah, like he's just great. He is a great guy. Everyone loves him essentially. Mm-hmm. But I think he is personally the best Primarch because he recognizes he's not perfect. He is well aware of the flaw in his genetics because it affects his sons. Sons being his, like the Legion. So the Space Marine Legions are based off their Primarch that they follow. So they have some of his genetics in them. So a lot, like the majority of his sons have that same vampiric tendency that he does.
Okay.
And so they used to be like a really savage legion before they were reunited when he was found by the Emperor, and he worked really hard to restore them to the noble legion that they are. They're called the Blood Angels.
Okay.
They're a very noble legion, and they're like fierce warriors, but he worked really hard to help like fix them to be like amazing. And I really like Sanguinius because he recognizes like the darkness in himself, and instead of like falling to it, he's like, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to do my best to go beyond my flaws and my failings.
Okay.
So that's why I like Sanguinius, because everyone's like, oh, well, he's perfect. So like, that's why like he's not the best. I'm like, well, no, it's because he knows he's not perfect, and he strives to be like, go beyond that. So
he tries to control the darkness in him.
Yes. Now, in a tragic stroke of fate, Horus and Sanguinius were like the closest brothers. Like they were like best friends.
Sanguinius is gonna die, isn't he?
Yes.
No.
So there is when all hope is lost because Horus gets to Terra to try to, kill his dad. There is an opportunity that the Emperor Sanguinius and then one of his other brothers, Dorn, they take where they can teleport onto his ship and try to like kill him. It's basically a trap that Horus set. And so Sanguinius goes, and Sanguinius is like a little bit psychic, so he kind of has like, he can kind of see the future. Okay. But he believes like the future isn't set in stone, but he knows vaguely that he is most likely going to die. But he's like, no, I can avoid this. I can like, maybe I can convince Horus to not like go through with all this. So they teleport onto his ship and they all get separated. So Sanguinius meets Horus first. He can't convince them. And then they fight to the death and Horus kills him. His like best friend and like brother who he trusted the most.
And at this point, Magnus was corrupted by the chaos?
Yes, yeah. Okay, was the corruption probably happened like probably a couple years prior to that.
Damn. That's a good story though.
I would like to refute what you said, Valti. So technically, you said no, he had pure foresight, he knew he was walking to his death. Yes and no. He did have foresight, but he was under the impression because time was being weird. Time was basically stopped. So he said, okay, because time is stopped, days don't really happen. So I'm not going to die today because there is no day. So maybe I can avoid actually dying because time isn't a thing right now.
Oh.
It was weird and a little hokey. Not a very strong argument personally. Obviously he still died anyway. But that's my rebuttal to that. So, yeah. And unfortunately, when Sanguinius died, all of his sons basically, like the moment he died, all of his sons basically became rage monsters. It's called the Black Rage, and they basically see visions of like Horus killing Sanguinius. It's really bad.
So they all go full vampire mode, but more like monsterish?
They don't really go vampire mode, but they go like berserker.
Okay. Oh no, it's like disaster after disaster.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Valti, it was in End in the Death part, I can't remember if it was in part 2 or part 1. He has a conversation with the Emperor before they go to the Vengeful Spirit, if you're interested. Sorry. I'm just like very passionate about my sanguineous lore.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
My little joke with my character, because this is an original character, she's not actually in the lore, is that I got married to Sanguinius and helped him not fall to chaos.
Nice.
That's my little lore. So
I love that.
That's my little tidbit. And like the feathers, you see
you.
the feathers on my armor.
Yeah.
Those are like his feathers.
Oh, I love the feathers on your armor too.
So
and
that's yeah, I like the purple.
My favorite color.
I like Yes, we match.
Yeah, we do.
Show the ring. Okay, 1 second.
Oh my god, are you married to Sanguinius?
I do have a ring. I don't. You might. You have control over me on your screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me move my hand. It's my hand on my sword. I think it is on your end.
Oh yeah, I see it.
That's the ring. I decided,
so cool.
like, you know what? I can put whatever I want on my Vtuber model. Let's be Delulu.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, your outfit is so nice.
Thank you. My riggers
super cool
did such
model.
a great job.
Yeah, super good model. I love the facial expression too.
Oh my gosh. I was enamored. I saw, you know Ellie Minibot?
Yeah.
I saw her debut stream. When was it? I don't know. I watched her debut stream and I saw her facial expressions. I'm like, wow, that's such a wonderfully rigged model. I looked up the rigger and I was like, I want them.
Yeah, I need this for my model. Yeah, great.
I will send you the link to them. They are amazing.
Ooh, thank you.
Fantastic. Highly recommend them. So professional, so kind. I will send you their thing. I think they have applications open. When is it? It's like in the beginning of summer, so soon. Okay. So here are the minis. So because the human factions are really popular,
oh yeah,
there's so much variety in the armies you can have. The Baneblade is a super heavy tank, like massive tank, really big. Imperial Knights, they're like walkers, and they have swords and guns. Very cool. And then you could also have Primarchs and like Space Marines. So these are kind of like your bigger minis. And then these are kind of like, yeah?
The Imperial Knights feel so familiar. Oh, that's the one that are being driven by the nobles.
Yes, correct.
And they can see, like, they can have all the thoughts of their ancestors and stuff.
Yes.
That's gotta be like, you know, you'd have to be a little bit self-conscious if you're in it. Like, you can't have weird thoughts, you know?
Yeah, no weird thoughts here.
No, everybody's gonna know about them. That could be awkward.
That would be so awkward. But yeah, you don't have weird thoughts.
Okay.
So then these are, so here's like guardsmen. So a lot of people will just play like standard guardsmen. So like standard humans. That kind of pairs up with the Baneblade. Sisters of Battle don't pair up with the Knights, but I just wanted to emphasize like how varied like the different armies within the Imperium faction can be. And like Space Marines, there's 20 legions. Well, 18 legions. So it's not just these blue guys. You can have a bunch of different like flavors of Space Marine that end up looking really cool. So by far the most diverse faction in terms of like armies and miniatures. There's a lot of stuff to choose from.
And the Astartes are a faction of the Space Marine?
Astartes are Space Marines.
Oh, they are Space Marines.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, those are all the miniatures. And then we'll do the Eldar and the Drukhari won't take very long because they're very, they're very similar. Okay. So the Eldar.
Oh, they're
the
cool.
Eldar. Yeah,
I like everything that's a little bit magic.
Yeah, so they're very psychic. They are basically space elves. So they were allied with and created by the old ones to fight the Necrontyr. Very warp attuned. So they have a lot of psychers and farseers, which are basically they can see the future.
But their psychers, are they in control, or can they lose control and become like?
So they are actually very in control of their powers, so they don't really go nuclear. Humans do, but they are, like, Eldar, they're masters of it.
Okay.
So they conquered the galaxy pretty fast, so very abundant after the war in heaven. They used the webway, so instead of traveling through the warp, they basically used the webway to, like, take shortcuts. And that's how they were able to get around so fast. So they had a massive empire of 10,000 plus star systems being usually more than one planet per star system.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really good at what they did. So because they're elves, they basically like live forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, however, they feel emotions on a very like deep level, and it affects the warp a little bit more. So it got to the point where the Eldar were so good at what they did, all menial work was basically automated. So they didn't really have to focus on farming or manufacturing. Things just happened for them. So they just explored
They got too
what they wanted
bored.
to. They got bored because they live
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Like if they live for 50 years, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. Like you can't really explore that much, but like when you live a long time, like what are you going to do? So they were very curious and they were like, let's try everything. And then it started getting darker. So like cults would appear and they're like, "Oh, well, I really like eating cake. But what if we made cake with, insert whatever." Anything that's kind of gross. They're like, "Oh, but that's good. But what if we did this?" Like just wanting to try things and experience all these like sensory pleasures among other stuff.
Yeah. And they started eating people.
Yeah, no, it got pretty crazy because then on top of that, they're doing so many debauched things and their emotions were felt really deeply. That means they have a huge impact on the warp compared to other sentient races, and they were prolific across the galaxy, right? Because they were really bad, they birthed the fourth chaos god, Slaanesh.
Jesus, imagine being so debauched.
Yeah, well, and think about this. So there were some people, like some Eldar, that saw the writing on the wall and were like, hey guys, this is bad, we should stop doing this. But there was not a lot of them. So they basically got on giant, like, continent-sized spaceships. And, like, they're like, we're leaving, we're getting out of here. And when Slaanesh was birthed, basically 90% of all, like, 95% of all Eldar basically died immediately, souls consumed.
Oh.
And that 95 is actually probably conservative. It's probably closer to like 99%, if we're being honest.
Oh, so there are some Eldars that are not so corrupted that escape.
Yes, so those were the ones that left on the giant ships, because if you were in reality when Slaanesh got birthed, within like a certain range, your soul was getting slurped.
Ooh,
and you're just gone. Instantaneously. But some of them were far enough away that their souls didn't get, like they didn't die.
Like a Thanos snap. So the last Eldars could exist.
Mm-hmm. So they still exist, the Eldar still exist, but now they live in fear of Slaanesh because Slaanesh has a claim on their souls. So unless they have a means of like keeping their soul from going into the warp, Slaanesh will eat their soul. And that's a very, very bad thing. So nearly all the Eldar perish, but some, like I said, some of them did not join cults, and they basically left on craft worlds. Those are the continent-sized ships. Now, they live on giant spacecraft, and they have these things called spirit stones. Basically, it's like a little vacuum. So if an Eldar dies within proximity of said spirit stone, it will basically like vacuum up their soul and hold onto it so it doesn't go into the warp.
Okay.
So it prevents them from being eaten by Slaanesh. Like, they're still like somewhat conscious within the stone, but they'll never like really live again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Oh, you can't... Okay, they can't res them after.
Yeah. So they're kind of... Their consciousness is kind of there, but they're not really doing anything.
It's just better than being eaten by her, so they're like, we'll take it. We'll take that option.
100%. So, yeah, that's kind of how those guys operate. So their ultimate goal... Did I save? Okay. So the ultimate goal of the Eldar, there is a splinter faction, which I'm going to explain in a second. Those are the Dark Eldar or the Drukhari. They basically want to try and destroy Slaanesh, if they can, and basically restore their empire to what it was, because they used to be on top of everything.
Yeah.
And now everything sucks for them, and they live in constant fear, and they're just trying to bring back what they lost.
Yeah, it's almost like they're branded for death too. Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Exactly,
you got this. Way. Get her.
Yes. So yeah, they're pretty much like, they're in a really rough spot. So they're trying to do everything they can. They sometimes interfere and they interact with like humans and other races, but they mainly focus on themselves. They only engage with other races if they can, like, they're farseers see the future and like, hey, if we change this outcome over here, it'll be better for us in the long run, like for the Eldar. Yeah.
Okay. They're kind of
so,
cool.
Yeah, they're really neat. So here are some of their minis. You know, so they're elves. We've got this guy with he's got wings.
Wow.
Like, this mini is really cool.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
So he's kind of more of a specialist. We've got your Wraith Knight. This guy is massive. You can see like the size different. Huge. And then we have the Rangers, which are kind of like your like standard dudes with guns.
That doesn't look like an elf at all. Yeah, that just looks like a normal dude.
Yeah, it's supposed to just be like that. The helmets are very just more like alien-like. Those are the Eldar.
That's a very interesting story. So they're just like kind of reduced to basically nothing now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unlucky.
Now, the Drukhari have basically the same stuff. I have like the same slide because it's the same detail. So now, for the Drukhari. So you know how there's all that debauchery?
Yeah.
You know all the debauchery that was happening?
Yeah.
So basically what happened there is that there was a bunch of Eldari that were hanging out in the webway doing all this debauchery. Now, they were not in real space or like in reality when Slaanesh was born, so their souls did not get like ripped away from them like the others did. However, basically what happens for the Drukhari is that their souls just kind of start like leaking out of them, like a slow pull towards Slaanesh. So in order to prevent their soul from getting devoured and like maintaining themselves, they do this by committing brutal crimes against people and enslaving people. They really enjoy it because it gives them pleasure.
Oh, they're like sadomaso and shit.
Yes.
But they gotta do it for survival too.
Yes. But it's like they're doing it for survival, but they also like it.
Yeah, they're like, but what if we double down on the debauchery?
Yes. But they see it as a means to keep them alive. So what they do is that they'll go on raids to like kidnap people. And it doesn't matter. They'll kidnap anyone and they don't care.
Yeah.
And basically, you do not ever want to get captured by the Drukhari because
oh god,
it will be suffering worse than death.
Yeah, you might as well kill your yeah.
Yes.
In Minecraft.
You could isekai yourself.
Yeah, isekai yourself in Minecraft. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's smart that they hid in the webway. Well, they didn't do it on purpose, but it's kind of smart.
Yeah. So, yeah, almost all the Drukhari like live in, there's a city called Kamara that is like, it was a major port city that all the Eldar ships went through when they were like sailing the webway, like going through the webway and going across the galaxy.
So they've got pretty much nothing in common with the Eldars at this point. Well, they like evolved away from them. Yeah,
pretty much. They're just kind of like they're opposites. So they're kind of like pirates in the sense that like kidnap and plunder. So we've got your Kabalite warriors, which are kind of your standard dudes. He's got a whip. It's kind of hidden here, but he's got a whip because, you know, he's freaky like that.
Yeah.
This is one of their like ships. It's a pretty cool ship.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool ship. I was gonna say that.
It's like very like pirate inspired.
Yeah.
And then we have this chick guy. I can't tell. Elves are kind of androgynous, hard to tell.
Yeah, they are.
He's got like the wings, so a little bit more specialized.
She needs a pedicure though. What is this nail?
You're right. Those are gross looking.
Maybe it's a fighting nail though.
Yeah, I could have also been me because I removed the background on some of these minis, so that could have been my doing. But now I'm curious. I'm like, huh, that is a long toenail.
The grippers out. Yeah, they got the grippers out.
Not the grippers. So
they're scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really. I feel like they're really bad though. Like they don't really have any good trait.
No, these are like by far, in my opinion. Someone asked me today, like, what's your least favorite faction? Drukhari.
Yeah.
Specifically because it is just all evil. It is all bad. It is just bad.
Are they gonna try to fight against Slaanesh or not?
So they don't really care.
Oh.
They're just kind of like, you know what, we're just gonna do what we're doing because it works.
Yeah,
and,
like the torturing.
We really like torturing people.
Okay.
So like, why would I stop?
Okay, they're like, well, it's working. My soul isn't getting devoured, so let's go.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out the nail is on the model. So if you go
God.
to the store, yeah. So yeah, she does have the long, gross nail. Ew. So the last one we
The
have are the
Tyranids.
Tyranids. What are the Tyranids? They are like insect dinosaur predators. So you've seen the movie Alien, right?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like that. Like that, I imagine is a lot of like the inspiration.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know when Tyranids came out and when Alien came out. I like to think that Tyranids were inspired by Alien, but I don't know 100%.
I feel like Warhammer is a bunch of sci-fi tropes like mashed up together.
Yes. Okay, so it is based on Alien. Cool. And
Cool.
so basically, the Tyranids, they're hungry boys. Like, they just want to consume everything. They are very single-minded, and you cannot reason with them. They don't talk. They just consume.
Ooh, Swarm
They are
mentioned?
capable...
The Swarm. They're
Yep.
like Nurosama's fan base. The Swarm mentioned.
They destroy planets.
Oh.
And they strip them of all their biomaterial and resources. So not even a speck of bacteria will be left on the planet. It'll be
Oh my god.
a rock without atmosphere, and it's like, it's just dead.
Like they take all of the resources, vegetation, everything.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it operates as a hive mind. So you'll see a lot of different forms of Tyranid, but they're basically specialists. They're designed for specific purposes. So they're usually like in like a theme or a color. So this one that you can see here in the picture, it's kind of like a pinkish white with like purple armor.
Yeah.
Essentially. Because guess what? There's not just more than one Tyranid. So a hive fleet is what you call like a giant group of Tyranids that are all like the same color. But there's multiples.
Oh, I bet.
So essentially, the first time they encountered Tyranids was on the Imperium world of Tyran. There is the hive fleet that they called Behemoth, and they destroyed the world Tyran, and that's how we got the name Tyranid. You know,
yeah,
sucks for them. That whole planet and all the people on it died, and now their planet the planet's name is in the Tyranid's name now.
Damn.
So yeah, so
do
it's
these
not
guys
great.
Clash the most with the Imperium?
They will clash with anyone. They don't care. They are just there to eat and have a good time. Now, Hive Fleet Behemoth was just one of many. So one of the things that's a little bit scary. Multiple hive fleets have been appearing since that incident. They consume and reassemble biomass so that they can make their armies bigger. There are some theories. Some people think they're just traveling across the galaxy and they're like, oh, we just want to eat what's in front of us. But there is an even scarier theory that it is possible they are fleeing a greater threat.
Oh no. How could there be worse?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we hope it's not anything worse. But a bunch of them have started to move into the galaxy and they just start to eat planets. And they're not unstoppable. It's just very, very hard to kill them.
They're the Warhammer mukbangers.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And because the Tyranids are just terrible and you cannot reason with them, a lot of Warhammer factions, for example, people have teamed up. For example, Space Marines were fighting Necrons on one planet, and they were fighting each other. Then the Tyranids showed up, and they said, you know what, we're gonna put aside our differences so we can fight these guys, because this is bad.
Yeah, we
cannot let them destroy us. So people will team up to fight the Tyranids because they're that much of a threat.
Well, yeah, and they seem to be really big in numbers.
Yeah, because they keep reproducing.
Yeah.
And it's self-sustaining. So if they consume a planet, they can make more materials so they can make more Tyranids, so then they can take over more planets.
Oh god, what a disaster.
It's bad. It's really bad. I will say, for Tyranids though, when it comes to minis, there is a ton of variety. A lot of people have made some absolutely gorgeous minis. So here are some examples. Some of the sculpts for these are just amazing. They're just so detailed and nice to look at.
Yeah, I could see that. They're so detailed.
Yeah, is big boss of the Tyranids. Trigon is one of like the bigger monsters, and then Termagant is kind of like a foot soldier. Now let me see. I think I have his chat pulled up. 1 second. You have a lot of creative freedom when it comes to... No, okay. When it comes to Tyranids, you can do a lot of things. You honestly can do like whatever colors you want. You can do that with any mini, but it's really widely accepted for Tyranids because they can just be super varied. So for example, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I really liked his mini. I'll have to find a picture and send it to you. Luton, who I mentioned before, he had a Tyranid that he painted. You know those like green and blue iridescent beetles?
Yes.
He painted one of his Tyranids, like, so you see the purplish black here?
Yeah.
For the shell to have that lovely iridescent sheen.
Oh, wow.
Like a June bug.
Beautiful.
It looked really, really nice. Like, that would probably be the only reason I'd paint Tyranids, to, like, do something cool and unique like that.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like these guys and maybe the Dark Elders are probably like the big bad guys of the galaxy right now.
Yeah, that seems yeah, that would be pretty accurate. The Tyranids are a huge threat. The Dark Eldar, they really keep to themselves. They'll just kind of pop up every once in a while to kidnap some people, and
or
then
like
they'll
raids.
just,
okay,
yes.
So these guys are bigger threats.
These are a bigger threat because they are actively going after things.
Okay, yeah.
And orcs are also pretty bad too because they just want to fight everything.
Yeah. Apparently the Green Boys versus Tyranids is the funniest thing ever, somebody super chatted.
Oh gosh.
I guess they had a fight?
I don't know. I've not read anything. I bet you it exists somewhere. I've not read anything about that, but that would be quite the fight because it would be like the Tyranids constantly consuming the orcs who keep coming back, and that's how I imagine. Okay, there is something about it. I haven't read it.
Interesting.
But that would be fascinating.
Yeah, they're like a force of nature. But it does seem like a lot of people like this faction, probably because of the miniatures, as you mentioned. And they're so varied. And they're strong.
Oh, yeah. Like, some of them look a little gross, I won't lie, because they're, like, really well detailed. But yeah, those are, I think we got through all of the factions on my PowerPoint. At least the general overview. Now, for example, the Eldari have, like, Harlequins, which are, like, the clown ones that you were talking about.
Oh yeah, the clown ones.
Yeah, so I didn't talk about those specifically because it's a sub-faction. A lot of these have, like, sub-factions that I didn't even talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But you did so great, like, and you made it entertaining and interesting all the way through, which I really appreciate.
I'm glad you thought so. I was, like, wanting to make sure I covered my bases, because it's hard to know what you didn't know. So I wanted to make sure I tried to cover everything. And I apologize if I rambled too much at one point.
No, not at all. I felt
much to go through.
Oh, there is so much. I know. I think that's the hardest part is to, like, synthesize all of this big information to a digestible format, and I think you did really great. Yes. And I feel like I've absorbed the knowledge a lot more. Like, I've watched a couple of videos on all of that, but now I feel like I'm gonna remember all of this.
Oh good, I'm so glad to hear that. I was like, man, I hope this all makes sense.
No, it really did. It really did. You explained it so well. It shows that you knows this topic very, very well.
Oh, thank you. I love this universe. It's honestly really fun to explore. And even though it's like grim dark, I find I really like the moments where it's like hope in the face of like impossible odds and like brotherhood, specifically on like the Imperium side, because I'm Imperium pilled. It's just, I really enjoy those moments. I think they're super cool.
Somebody's gotta patch up that like Emperor though. Like somebody, we gotta give him the resuscitation. Or something.
There's a theory, because so he's a perpetual, so if he like dies, he doesn't really die. There is a theory that if you take him off the Golden Throne and he dies, he'll come back stronger.
But nobody wants to risk it.
No one wants to risk it. So there is a theory there. And it's like, oh man, but like what if he does die, then we're absolutely screwed.
And also, who's the guy in charge now that he's, you know, basically a vegetable?
So, for a while, a bunch of the Primarchs either died or, like, they disappeared. So it was just kind of a bunch of they're called the High Lords of Terra that basically ruled Terra, and it was just terrible, the whole bureaucratic mess. Well, recently, one of the Emperor's Primarchs returned, Gilliman. He was basically brought back from the brink of death, and he was probably one of the best ones to come back because he's like master of logistics. And he came back and he was like, oh my gosh, everything sucks. And he's been trying to fix things, but it's really, really hard. So his name is Rabute Gilliman. I showed one of his minis. It was this guy.
Master of Excel sheets.
Yes, I mean, it's this guy here.
Oh, okay, at least he can fight as well. He's not just a nerd.
Yeah. All the Primarchs know how to fight.
Yeah.
They are masters of martial arts and warfare. So yeah, he is the one who is currently running the Imperium right now and trying to keep it going, but it's very difficult work. And slowly some of the other Primarchs are coming back. It's a decision by GW because Primarchs are really popular and they make a lot of money, but
oh yeah.
I won't say anything more on that
Primarch fan service.
Yep. Yeah, so there's other Primarchs that have returned, and some of the Demon Primarchs or the Traitor Primarchs are showing up and like starting to cause problems for the Imperium and other factions now.
Wow, that's so interesting. I have a feeling maybe the Necrons will make a comeback since some of them were laying low for a bit and they seem pretty powerful. I mean, they were powerful once.
Yeah, they are starting to come back, so they're like waking up. They're like, hey, what are all these like people that are living, like we don't want them here, we're starting to be in charge. So they're starting to pop up. So basically they live on worlds, but they're like buried deep in the ground, so people will like be living on a planet and not know there are Necrons there, and the Necrons start waking up and then they'll start like attacking everyone because they're like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here, this is our planet, we were here first.
Oh my god.
So everything is like, there are people fighting everywhere, and it's not always like the same thing. It's like, oh, we're fighting orcs over here, but there's people fighting Necrons over here. And then these two factions are fighting each other. There's only war.
Only war in Warhammer 40k. War.
Who would have thought?
Necrons are the angry Egyptian robot. Yeah, they remind me of like this, you know, in X-Men when they res like that Egyptian fucking, like that first mutant that's basically a god. They remind me of that.
That is kind of the vibe.
Yeah, that is kind of the vibe. Or they're like, you know, I don't know if you watched JoJo, when they discover like the first man and they're like gods that want to kill everybody. That's also Necrons. They're like all these tropes.
Yeah, there's so many like different tropes because it's just such a vast universe. Like, I mean, not every there's no such thing as an original idea. And like that's like Warhammer, it's like a conglomeration of so many different ideas and themes. But that's kind of what makes it charming, because there's something for everyone.
That's what I was gonna say. There's something for everyone, and the execution is good. It like works together.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope you did enjoy it.
I did. That was super fun. We'll do it. We could do another collab one day where we go deeper into one side or another.
Imperium. We got to figure out who her Primarch husband is.
Yes. I saw a couple like cute one in the Bricky video.
Oh, well, you can't have Sanguinius. That one's mine.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get another one. But like also, I like the sisters. I like their outfits and stuff. I was looking for like this big rosary belt that they're wearing.
Oh, Sisters of Battle are so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get to show them off, but their miniatures are really cool. There's one miniature that they have. It's like a tank, but it's an organ. Hang on. Tank. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, they had somebody playing the organ for them, and they have this one angelic looking sister as well. That's like a saint.
Saint Celestine.
Yeah, Saint Celestine. Yeah, I remember.
And there's even more stuff with that too. So here, I sent you a picture of the tank with the organ on top.
Oh yeah,
that fires missiles.
It's so cool, and the little like cherubs on top with the skull. That's very Mad Max. They look kind of scary. They're like terrifying.
Yeah. So one of the things that like the Imperium in this time period, they are not about innovating technology. So everything is just like, everything works poorly. And a lot of the stuff that they'll use like human brains for computers, essentially.
Oh.
So those little cherubs are kind of like that. Not exactly, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and before we go, where do the mechanic cultists go in all of this? Like, which faction?
So they're under the Imperium.
Oh.
So Alex, I did not explain this part. Humanity colonized Mars, and Mars became like a hub for industrialization. Now, during the Age of Strife, when communications were basically lost, the Mechanicus was like over there, and they worship what they call the machine god, or the Omnissiah. Basically, it is like the perfect mixture of man and machine. I'm gonna butcher this because I'm not as familiar with Mechanicus, but they were on Mars, and when the Emperor was like, hey, I want to go conquer the galaxy, he needed a lot of technology and manufacturing. So he basically appeared on Mars, like he traveled to Mars, and the Mechanicus, they were like, dude, we think you're our god. So yeah, we'll form an alliance with you. Like, basically the Emperor offered them a deal. Well, no, it wasn't quite gullible. They also saw it as a good opportunity for them.
Right.
Because the Emperor's like, yeah, I'm not really a god, but I guess I'll allow you to call me a god.
Okay.
It's fine. And so basically, they teamed up with them. Nowadays, in like the 40k, there is no innovation. They only work with like standard accepted designs. So it's like, if you have a gun, you cannot modify the gun in any way. It is perfect with the instructions we have. We will not innovate. We will not do anything further, because if we do anything further, that's heresy.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, it is. It is dumb. It's like very like stagnant.
They're like still working on the 80s computer, but that's why I like the dark mechanics, because they would indulge in progress.
Yes, they sided with Horus. So Horus also split the Mechanicus in half during the heresy, and they innovated. Yeah,
I think in the video Bricky explained that they were pretty strong, but then because they started lacking innovation and progress, they were kind of getting, outscaled by other civilization.
100%.
Yeah, don't worship your toaster. Moral of the story.
No, do not worship the toaster.
Call?
Oh yeah, so Belisarius Call is the name of a character who is basically the head of the Mechanicus.
Oh, okay. It's this whole can of worm.
Yeah, Belisarius Call is not your standard Mechanicus guy. He believes in some innovation.
Okay.
And people don't really like him for that, but he's kind of in charge. But he's made a lot of like great progress for humanity, even though it's a little frowned upon.
Pre-heresy old too.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
He's also from Heresy. Like, yeah. He's been around for a hot minute.
He's a boomer.
Yep,
he's not moving with the times.
I cannot deny.
Yeah,
I cannot deny that.
Oh, that's so interesting. Wow. Well, thank you so much for everything today. And for taking the time to walk me through this. Seriously, like it's probably taking a lot. You did a lot of legwork for this, and I can't even begin to thank you.
Well, it's not a problem. I was really excited when you reached out. I was like, "You want to know about Warhammer? This is great." Yeah. Like, I've been watching you for a while, and I was like, "I am more than happy to do it."
Oh my god, that's so amazing! I'm so glad it worked out, and I'm sure we will speak again. Would love to keep in touch and do future projects together. And thank you, chat, for hanging out as well.
Yes, thank you for hanging out with us and correcting me when I got something wrong. There is so much lore, so I appreciate you guys being gracious with me and being like, wait, Aurelia, it's actually this. I appreciate that, because I don't want to tell her wrong.
You got pretty much everything right, though. But yeah, chat is nice and was respectful. Good job,
You're very
chat.
Respectful. Thank you,
Good
chat.
job, chat. Yeah. And now Rima's gonna have a heart attack looking at the cost of the minis. Uh-oh. I'm gonna outsource the cost to chat.
I was gonna say, well, chat, don't make her look at it. Just get her some minis.
Yeah,
we'll have to look through the catalog and set up a little wish list for her.
Oh my god.
Does she have a throne page? Let's put some up there.
Yeah.